Starseeds, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today I want to talk to you about my experience as a raw vegan. I decided to go raw vegan about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little bit more, 2.5 weeks, something like that. It has been quite the journey. There's been some good and some bad, some unexpected. I really wanted to share that with you because some of you might be looking into veganism in general or raw veganism and wondering if it's worth it. So if you're interested in veganism, spirituality, self-help, growth, transformation, all of that, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the like button. I post videos every Tuesday. It's been a little bit inconsistent lately, but I am committed to putting out videos. And let me know if you have any questions as we're going along. So with that being said, I want to start with what raw veganism is. So veganism in general is no foods from animals whatsoever. So if it comes from an animal, I don't eat it. Whether that's honey or eggs, dairy, milk, cheese, meat, of course. None of that. Nothing that comes from an animal. And raw veganism is no cooked foods. So primarily I'm eating fruits and vegetables raw, lots of leafy greens, seeds, nuts, things like that. Personally, I don't eat nuts because I am intolerant to them, but other raw vegans do. So now I will tell you why I decided to go raw vegan. I, in the past, have wanted to go raw vegan for probably since I was, what, like 19? I'm 24 now, so it's been a long time, and it's always felt daunting almost, like I didn't think that I could do it, or I didn't think that I would be able to do it in a healthy way without support. And the reason I finally decided to do it is because I am healing from some physical issues as a result of my previous eating disorder a couple years ago that I still have not healed from. And I've sort of been at this place in the last month of desperation, and I didn't really know what else to do to help support me in healing because I felt like nothing that I was doing was working. So I gave this a shot, and I just thought, you know, I'll try it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? The only thing that was keeping me from trying it before was me feeling like without having support I couldn't do it. So I was like, well, if I can't do it, then I can't do it, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna give it a shot. So that is when I decided to go raw vegan about 2 weeks ago. And now I want to talk about the good that I have experienced, some of the benefits. First and foremost, I noticed that within the first day or two, my cravings for refined sugars, actually I didn't even really eat refined sugars before, but I did eat added sugars like coconut sugar and stuff like that. So I noticed that my cravings were gone pretty much immediately. I probably did eat refined sugars, like I ate sweets a lot, like chocolate and stuff. More of them probably had refined sugars than I knew. But like I said, within a day or two I noticed that my cravings were gone. And I think this is because the first day I ate a lot of fruit. I think I ate fruit the whole day. It was sweet enough that my craving, like I wasn't craving more sugar because I was getting a lot through fruit. That was really incredible because I thought that would be the hardest part, but it really wasn't. The second benefit that I noticed was that my energy levels really did increase, and that was something that I struggled with so much before whenever I was eating cooked foods, because I literally half the time would have to lay down after a meal because I felt like so lethargic, like I just couldn't do anything. I was like, I just can't, I don't know what to do, like this is not normal. And within 2 or 3 days of eating raw food, I noticed that I could actually like get up and do things after eating, and it wasn't weighing me down. And that kind of leads into the next benefit that I noticed, which is no matter how much I ate, I still felt lighter in my body than I did when I was eating cooked foods. I could eat a whole papaya. Papayas are big, like they're like this big. And I could eat a whole papaya as opposed to like this much cooked rice, and I felt lighter in my body. Like I could still get up and move around and I wasn't weighed down. That is huge for me. I felt satiated, like I could eat enough and eat as much as I wanted to, but yet not feel lethargic or weighed down. So that is massive for me because that is something that I really struggled with before. So another benefit that I noticed was, go lay down, or you can come over here if you want, whatever you want. Okay. Another benefit that I noticed was after about 2 days, my mental attitude in general was much more positive, and I think this is partly because I felt better about my sense of accomplishment. Like, if I can do this, I can do anything. It just made me feel like whatever I set my mind to, I really can do, because this was something that I've been wanting to do for 5 years, and I finally did it. I felt like this would be the hardest thing to get through mentally, and once I finally did, it was like, oh wow, so what's the next big thing that I'm gonna do? And that was really cool for me. So not only was my sense of accomplishment greater, but my mindset was just more positive in general. And I think this is because I just felt better in my skin, in my body, and I think that would make anybody's mindset a little more positive. Those are some of the benefits that stuck out to me the most, because those are the things that I kind of struggled with the most before. Now I want to talk about some of the downsides, or what I perceive to be less positive. So the first thing is that I am eating a lot more often, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It kind of just depends on your schedule, but I noticed that I can eat a lot at one time, but because the foods that I'm eating are so calorically dilute, especially fruits and things, because it's just like water and fiber, I'm noticing that it really fills up my stomach because there's a lot of fiber, but it digests so quickly that I am eating like an hour or an hour and a half, 2 hours later. For some people that might be a little bit annoying. I personally don't mind it because I have the schedule that I can do that, but for some people that might be a little bit of a downside. But at the same time, if you are someone who likes to eat smaller meals throughout the day, I know that there are a lot of people who enjoy that too. So it may not necessarily be a downside, but it could be, just depending on your schedule. The second downside is that when I am going out to eat with friends, it's a lot harder to find something enjoyable, like pleasurable to eat. This is partially, in my experience, due to the fact that I have a lot of intolerances. For example, I went to Cafe Gratitude and they have a raw vegan kelp noodle pad thai, and I really wanted it, but their dressing had soy in it, and they said that another dressing wouldn't really taste as good with the meal because of the consistency or whatever. I couldn't eat that because I have an intolerance to soy. So somebody else, another raw vegan, could go to Cafe Gratitude and have eaten that. So that was one night that I ended up just eating cooked food. But that being said, I live in a place where there's already an abundance of vegan options, and if you don't, it would be even harder for you to go out and find something raw vegan to eat. There's almost always going to be a salad somewhere, but that might not be very interesting to you. Or it might be, but it might be harder when you go out with friends if they're not raw vegan, because they're going to want to go somewhere that has a lot of cooked food, and unless you're going to like a raw vegan restaurant or a vegan restaurant, it's probably going to be more challenging to find raw vegan options. So that's something to keep in mind. So really, those are the only downsides that I've noticed. If you can think of anything that you've experienced as a raw vegan that's a downside to raw veganism, comment below and let me know, because I don't know that I have experienced anything else. So I would be curious if you have. If you have any tips for the downsides that I have mentioned, let me know below. It's always nice to get another perspective and see how I can turn things that might be a downside into like a solution to the problem. I forgot to mention this before in the benefits. I'm sure that you can tell that I'm experiencing more benefits than downsides. But one more benefit that I've received is that at this point, and this is 2 weeks in, but I would say about a week in, my hunger cues and all of that completely balanced out. And when I was eating cooked food, I felt like I was never satiated. Like I always wanted to keep eating and past the point of being full, but it was because mentally I didn't feel satiated, and I don't know why that is. I didn't always overeat, but there were so many times that I wanted to, and I just felt like, okay, I know that my stomach is full. Why doesn't my brain feel full? But with raw foods, about a week in, or probably 4 or 5 days in, I noticed that when I felt satiated, my mind also felt satiated. So I think that's because I could eat until my stomach was actually full. Whereas cooked food, the calories are more condensed, and so you're eating smaller portions and it's not really filling up your stomach as much. So I noticed that my hunger levels and hunger cues and everything just really balanced out, and I didn't want to overeat. I'm definitely eating enough. I'm not under eating. So that is huge for me. That's a really big benefit that I've experienced, and it's really exciting to just feel completely balanced and natural in that sense. So that's everything that I have for you. Feel free to give it a like if you liked it, and comment below, as I said, if anything came up for you while you were watching this, or let me know if you're curious about going raw vegan, or have any questions or anything like that. I can help you out as much as possible. So definitely subscribe so that you can continue this journey with me on becoming a better person, your best self, your healthiest, most vibrant self. And with that being said, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for you, and I will see you in my next video. Stay conscious. Mwah.